What up, guys? It's your boy APT Songs here, back with another album review. And this time, we are reviewing G-Dep's newest album called Lessons, Never Losses.
We on fire, turn the siren up. We on fire, we just lighting up. At them shows, you need a hose in the fire truck. And you know what that means, tell your team she's fire.
So you all remember last year that G-Dep got out of prison after 13 years, and while he was in prison, he had actually recorded an album that came out about a month before he got out of prison. This is an album that he recorded over the phone, and I loved it. It was like by far one of my top favorite albums of last year. Therefore, I was also very happy when he announced on his Instagram that he would be coming out with a brand new album called Lessons, Never Losses, which just released last month. So the question becomes, would he be able to put out a cohesively good album that would be listenable in 2025? And I am happy to say that answer is yes, because upon hearing this album, and by the way, I've had it for a couple of weeks now, I have just had such an enjoyable time playing on repeat the Lessons Never Losses album. So to start, with his previous album, Influential, there were a lot of tracks on there that were leaning towards being introspective. He had different songs that had different themes to them about a variety of different topics, probably because he had a lot of years worth of writing that he could pull from in order to do that. With this particular album, it's less introspective and really what I would consider to be more celebratory. You know, he's out of jail, he's able to be back living life in public and being able to reunite with friends and family. And so that leads to an album that isn't necessarily as introspective, but it really just feels like a quality of life upgrade. Is it to say like, I'm back, I wanna rap about what I wanna rap about, and I'm trying to keep it positive. And so to that end, a lot of the subject matter that's talked about on this album runs through various songs. Songs about living the good life, songs about partying again, songs about being able to just be in a nice car, but also mixed in are lessons that he gives throughout the course of the album. Lessons about, you know, how to handle your business, lessons about how to stay out of jail, how to turn your life around, how to give praises to God. Also, much like his Influential album, this album is also very, very free of cursing. There's like one song at the beginning where he says the N-word a couple of times within context of what he's talking about, but for the most part, that is not heard on the album. And then the only actual cursing you hear from people are the occasional guest vocalist here and there that show up on the album. But G-Dep himself keeps this mostly a PG affair. Also, G-Dep's almost 50. There's a lot of ageism that happens in hip hop to where we think, well, if somebody's over the age of like 35, then they're gonna sound too outdated and old school to be rapping. I personally don't see that as an issue here. I think that G-Dep's sound is very up to date. And part of that's because one, he seems to be working with beat makers that are also a little bit younger. And also he himself is not just sticking to one kind of rap scheme in this album. He's testing out a variety of different flows on different songs and on different beat styles that allows you, the listener, to not get bored with what he's saying. On some tracks, such as How Can I, he's got a more laid back flow as if he really wants you to really take in the things that he's saying.
I need a line to the chapel. It's tedious, gotta keep my soul clean like PBS, keep the channel. Everybody talking about it's different, give examples. I need you to stop telling me what I can't do. While
on other songs, like the standout track, Hold Your Horses, he's rapping at a very sporadic and fast pace that begs you, the listener, to keep up with him.
This is the reality that I have the capacity to make a super salary this big as the arena, boy. Anything presumably that they be saying, usually that's hearing out in rumors be just absolutely premature.
Some of the tracks on this album, I feel, are also very reminiscent of the Influential album, whereby it has the same feeling tone as some of the songs on that album. In fact, one of the songs on here called Old Me is actually a re-recorded song from Influential, where now here you can actually hear his voice without the phone being there, so you get a deeper edge to what his voice sounds like.
I used to take and never give, but that's the old me. Nowadays I listen what they told me. Keep a steady watch out for the phony, cause you'll never see it coming mostly.
Another song on here called Falling Asleep has that sing-songy flow that I also found was very reminiscent of some of the choruses from the Influential album songs.
I'll be up so many hours, I'll be falling asleep. Grab my phone when I get home, I'll leave it all in the street. I'll be in the public eye and I'll be more indiscreet. My world is getting smaller, trapped between the wall and the grave.
And it's a song where he's simply talking about, trying to stay awake and trying to hustle to where he can get that money and be successful. And that means sometimes that when he's trying to do things, he's been out so much, he just can't help but not stay awake as he's trying to get goals accomplished. He also has the song Sing For You, which also feels like a leftover track from Influential, but it's simply about him like trying to woo a woman and telling her how much he cares for her to the point where he wants to sing a song for her if that's what she wants.
You seem as if you ain't really with a bunch of talking. You had your mind made up when a brother walked in. But if you want it, I can sing for ya. You know I got a little thing for ya.
He also touches on some of the influence that he's had on the game on songs such as Put That On A Shirt, where on the song itself, he's actually giving some of the game to younger listeners while at the same time saying that some of the stuff he says is so influential that you could in fact have it be put on a shirt.
The L is for learning, so I never take losses. And I'ma put that on the shirt. And I'ma put that on the hat. Go ahead and put in work. In the game, I'ma put that on my back.
I also appreciate the fact that G-Dep experimented with his soundscape on this album because it goes in a lot of different places. On some songs like Scam, i.e. Sex, Cars, and Money, you get a beat template that's a bit more futuristic in style.
Get your card number, leaving out the country. Sex, cars, and money, sex, cars, and money. Ever think you could pull one over on me? Don't you ever think you could pull one over on me?
And by the way, that one will definitely bang hard in your trunk. Meanwhile, you have songs like I Still Got It and Dope that harken back to an older sound.
If you count sheep, still you can't sleep on me. Even the Green Giant said you's a bit corny. I'm on Sanders' nice list, even though I'm naughty. Hang up the phone or nephew Tommy if you call me.
And by the way, these songs are just him swagging and talking about how great he is, mixed in with a lot of great punchlines. In fact, I would say as you get closer towards the end of the album, many of the lyrics on those tracks are him just spitting some very jokey punchlines. My particular favorite line being on the song They Got Love, where he says this.
Only raise my head when I had to check their pickup. They wait till you're dead to feel ya, but that's necrophilia.
And then the album ends with the song Charged With Winning, which I think is very interesting because, in real life, he got charged with things that caused him to go to prison. And now he's saying, I'm only getting charged with winning. Yes, Your Honor, I'm guilty of going out there and making a name for myself so that way I can see success. And I think it's a very fitting way to actually end this album.
Of winning, I'm never innocent. I'm guilty as charged, and where the winner sit. You getting money as sweet as honey and cinnamon. Images are bigger than what they really are, like a side mirror is.
Now, if there's one minor complaint I have about the album, I would say it's this, is that I think in the beginning, the pacing is a little bit slower than I would like for the opening of an album. I think part of this is because with the Influential album, it just started off with like the Influential song, which was very much a party banger with an up-tempo beat. Whereas this one, the first couple of songs, they're good songs, but they're just very, very slow tempo. And I don't think they give the listener a really good idea of that. Once they get past that second and third song, it's nothing but bangers back to back to back. So I don't know where those beginning songs would have been thrown in later because they actually do start off the album in a way that it needs to start off in terms of like the subject matter, but it's just, it starts off a little slow for me. But like I said, that's a me thing. This does not take away from the fact that I have been bumping this album nonstop since I got it. So I will say this, I think G-Dep has created another solid piece of work. I think his voice is one that is very much needed in hip hop. It is a positive voice that's talking about positive things like attaining your goals while still having a good time and still trying to get love out there. If I had two words to describe this brand new G-Dep album, Lessons Never Losses, it would be this: certified bangers. This album has almost no skips. It's back to back to back to back to back banger. It is easily already in this early year of 2025, one of my favorite albums. I've been playing on repeat in my car, and I will continue to play it again because the rhythm of it, the flow, the style of it, him being able to experiment on tracks, and just his good nature of coming into hip hop and trying to give it something that it's missing. I think that this was warranted for you to add to your collection. Now, right now, the album's not on streaming, so you have to go to his website in order to actually get the album, which I will leave a link for below. But suffice to say, you are doing a disservice if you do not get this album. I assure you, G-Dep has not lost a step. I'm so glad after hearing his Influential album that he was able to put out another album full of solid bangers that you will be probably banging well into 2026. Anyway, that's all I got for today. I'm APT Songs. Thanks for checking out this review, and I will catch you guys on the next one. I'm out. Peace.
I don't wear no sweaters, keep my neck and my head bundled up together thanks to my hoodie. About to hop in my ride, top down, cool breeze, but I'm warm inside cause of my hoodie. Watching joggers run by, see how hot cutie is. She be catching my eye wearing that hoodie.